You know, there's one thing that's generally in common with people that I pick up from the airports that have gone to other countries. They all discuss the fuel, the difference in the cost between where they've just come from and where they're coming to, home, us. And the general consensus, we are being ripped off something chronic. Our fuel is just taxed beyond all oblivion. And, you know, we've had this cap, this ceiling that's been in place for quite some time, a number of years, and we had the 5p reduction that the government said that they would give us in response to you know what. Well, that didn't really have an effect, did it? Because all the forecourts saw it coming and adjusted their prices up by 5p, only to bring them down by 5p, so they were on a level playing field and we got absolutely nothing. That was obvious. Well, I brought you a video quite a while ago now about a little detail that Jeremy Hunt failed to mention in his statement, and I thought I'd remind you of what's going on now. Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Hope you're doing all right. I'm not too bad, not too bad. Let me know how you are in the comments below, and that everything's all right where you are. I mean, this is going to affect you if it's going to come true, and if you've got a car, it's absolutely ridiculous. I drive around every day. I see the prices, diesel and petrol, and there's a very, very big difference between the two at the moment, as you well know. Well, when we had the statement done towards the end of last year by Jeremy Hunt, we were told everything that we needed to know. There was one little piece of information which he left out, and that was that there's a proposed 12 pence a litre jump in the price of fuel coming this March, which I'm guessing will commence at the beginning of the next financial year. That will, of course, will be absolutely crippling to an awful lot of people. Road safety experts are actually turning around to the government and saying, if there is any truth in this, then you need to reconsider your position, because it will just endanger an awful lot of people. I'm guessing, you know, where they rebel and try and get dodgy fuel and all sorts of other things to cut costs. It really is bad in a time where we all need to save every penny. Now, you've got stuff like ULEZ charges, cameras going up and everywhere, clean air zones, crossings. You know, the cost of operating a motor vehicle these days is just getting ridiculous. I'll bring you a funny video last thing of the day where somebody tried to shirk the system. It made me smile, put it that way. Anyway, here's a little video where Howard Cox, the well-known fuel duty campaigner, is interviewed, and let's hear what he has to say on this.
Exactly that. Jeremy Hunt didn't say a word. The first time in 30 years of my campaigning, I've not seen a budget or an alternate statement, whatever you call it, not mentioning fuel duty, anything about it. But only half an hour later, in a press conference, the OBR, the Office of Budget Responsibility, announced this, and the operative word is a planned 12% tax. A 12p tax rise next year in the March budget. And don't forget, that doesn't include the VAT. The VAT goes on there, on top of that. And so that it's nearer 15 pence per litre we're going to be paying for. And it's absolutely disgusting that Jeremy Hunt didn't mention this.
Interesting. So, I mean, it's not been confirmed by the Chancellor, but it certainly has created this uncertainty, as you say, with the suggestion from the OBR that it is coming. What will the impact be then of a 12p rise, a 23% rise, as you described, plus VAT on diesel drivers? Often these are van drivers, people who have to drive for their jobs.
Well, I'm backed by the Road Haulage Association, and something like 40 to 50% of the costs now for an average trucking firm and an average white van man now are fuel costs. And what's going to happen is they're going to pass those costs on to their customers. But unfortunately, the customers are going to say, no, we can't pay that. And we're going to see some businesses, some logistics businesses and some distribution businesses going to go to the wall. And we're particularly sole traders like electricians and plumbers and decorators who are already being hit by things like congestion charges and ultra-low emission zones and all those sorts of things. And you mentioned in your introduction about, is there a war on motorists? Yes, there is. It's ridiculous. There are 37 million UK drivers in this country. They don't have any consumer price protection. They're subject to highest fuel duty in the world, highest taxation in the world, and also opportunistic profiteering in the fuel supply chain.
Doesn't paint a very good picture there, does it? I mean, when we had the initial dramatic fuel cost increase to begin with. I had to pass a cost on to my customers, the same as many other businesses, and the same will happen again. And you get to the point where the customer will think, well, can I actually pay that? Do I want to pay that? And then businesses go to the wall, as Howard Cox says. Pretty depressing, really, huh? But we'll have to wait and see what Jeremy Hunt comes out with, I suppose, and go from there. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments below, and I look forward to reading them. Maybe we'll have a readout of them later in the week. I'm off. I'll see you with one more shortly. Toodaloo.